Okay, so here we are talking about inflation, which is the next of the major indicators, along with unemployment and GDP. Some really important ideas. We'll take a little interlude to hit up some disco, and then we'll continue on with the lecture after that. And you'll see in a minute what I'm talking about. So, three important definitions when we talk about inflation. The first one is, of course, inflation, which is a rise in the general level of prices. This doesn't mean every price is going up. Some prices might be going up, some might be going down. This is usually measured taking the consumer price index. A basket, they call it a market basket of 100 goods. They measure the prices from year to year and they see if they're going up. So gas might be going up, but electricity might be going down. But overall, prices are going up. This is inflation. And then the flip side of that is deflation, which is a fall in the general level of prices. These are the two definitions that we'll talk about the most, inflation being primary, then deflation. And then we might hit on disinflation, which is trying to rein in hyperinflation. This is when prices are going up too fast. What type of policies can we enact to sort of slow that down? Okay, so important definitions to keep in mind as we move forward. Now, let's look at a couple of examples here. The first example, we're going to talk about how it doesn't matter how high prices go if your wages, your income is keeping up with it. So let's look at somebody makes $20 a week and they buy two things. They buy gas and lattes. Okay, if she spent all her money on gas, she could buy 10 gallons. If she spent all her money on lattes, she could buy 5. And if she wants to buy one more latte, what would she have to give up? 2 gallons of gas. This goes back to opportunity cost, trade-off, and so on. Now, let's take a look. If the price of gas doubled and the price of lattes doubled, right, obviously she's not going to be able to get as much. But what if at the same time her income doubled as well? Does anything happen to her purchasing power? No, it doesn't. Nothing changes. So prices can double, but if her income doubles, she's right where she started. Okay? Nothing real has changed. She feels the same as she did when prices were lower because her income went up. And remember, this is kind of the key little phrase. Real is how you feel. And so with income going up as well as prices, she feels the same. So her real income has stayed the same. Let's look at another example. Okay, now let's pretend that the price of gas doubles and the price of lattes has doubled. What would happen if her income stays the same? Right, meaning her nominal income doesn't change. What's going to happen to her purchasing power? How does she feel? Well, she can't purchase as much as before. She feels poorer. Right? She really feels like she can't get as much. So remember, real is how you feel. So now, let's take a look with a little help from Patrice Rushen, and we're going to take a look at real values. Real values, again, are always adjusted for prices. So let's take a look at this. If your income stays the same and prices go up, what's going to happen to your real income? Your real income falls. If your wages stay the same and prices go up, what happens to your real wages? Your real wages also fall. Okay? And obviously the opposite is true. If your income of prices go down and your income stays the same, well, your real income is going to rise. So let's take a listen to Patrice Rushen here, and she'll tell you that real is really how you feel. Okay, so I think you got the idea if you made it this far. You know, real is how you feel. So let's look at some of the costs of inflation here. There's three main costs that we're going to talk about. First one is called shoe leather costs. These are the costs that get associated with you having to run around town trying to find better prices. And the way to think about this is it kind of, wears out the leather on your shoes. If you work someplace and you want to find the best, if you work at a pizza place and you're looking for the best mozzarella cheese or best price on sauce or whatever, it's the cost associated with having to go out and look for that best price. Okay? The next cost are menu costs. You guys have perhaps seen this. You've gone to maybe a pizza place or something like that. You see the menu that's sitting on the counter and they have little stickies over their prices and they've written a new price in. Well, why do they do that? Because they need to charge a higher price, inflation, but you can't go and just print menus every time prices change. And so there are those costs that, as a business, maybe you lose some money as prices go up. And so maybe once a year you'll print new menus. And then finally, this is the one you always hear about as your parents or your grandparents say, back in my day, I could go see a movie for a nickel or whatever, right? These are called unit of account costs, meaning, money is not such a reliable way to talk about value when prices have changed so much. If you talk to your grandparents and maybe they don't go to the movies much anymore, and they say, movies cost $18 for a movie, they wouldn't really understand how that works because they're used to paying so little. And so those are unit of account costs. So let's take a look here at inflation and interest rates. We'll talk more about this later, but it should help you understand the idea of nominal and real interest rates. Interest rates are the price that you pay for money. Okay? If I'm going to borrow money from somebody or I'm going to lend money to somebody, I want to know what my real rate of return is. How much money am I going to be getting back? Okay? And so I want to know how much inflation is and how much nominal interest rate, which is just the amount, and the real. So let's take a look at this. Let's say inflation is 3%, and I want to make sure I get a 10% return on my investment. If inflation is 3% and I want to get a 10% return on my investment, what must the nominal interest rate be? Yes, 13%. Okay? So I would charge you 13%. You would pay me back 13%. With prices going up 3%, I get a real return of $10. So this is how it works. We'll talk more about interest rates as we get into Unit 4, but it's an important idea to understand. And another way to look at real versus nominal values. And then finally, the last thing that we're going to talk about is people who are hurt and people who are helped by inflation. So, who gets hurt when prices go up? Well, first, people that receive a fixed income. If I get $500 every month, but prices continue to rise, what's happening to my $500? It's not able to buy as much. My real income is falling. Who else is hurt? People that are saving money, okay? If I'm saving money, if I have money in the bank, if I put $100 in the bank, okay, and most savings account are very, very little, interest rates, as prices continue to rise, that money is losing value. And then creditors, all right? If I lend you money, right, when you pay me back, if prices have gone up, I'm not going to make as much money back. So these are the people that are hurt by inflation. Who's helped by inflation? People that are borrowing money, because when I borrow that money, I'm borrowing it ostensibly to buy something. And so if I buy it and prices go up, I'm able to get a better value. And who are people that are unaffected by inflation? Well, sometimes, like with Social Security payments, the government pays cost of living adjustments. So if inflation goes up 2%, but I get a 2% cost of living adjustment, inflation's not affecting me. It's keeping me right where I was before. And Social Security recipients, again, if that cost of living is built in, Social Security recipients are not going to be affected. Okay? And as always, please come to me with questions tomorrow, and we'll practice and work through some examples to help you understand what's going on with inflation. Okay?